The American Civil War was a comprehensive internal conflict that lasted for years between the Washington administration of the United States and 11 southern states that sought to secede from the country. The primary cause of the war was the debate over the expansion of slavery, which was heavily utilized as cheap labor in the agriculturally based southern states. Into the western regions of North America, the disagreement arose over whether slavery would be banned or allowed throughout the entire country, similar to its application in the industrialized northern regions. In 1860, upon Abraham Lincoln's election as president, 11 southern states, under the leadership of Jefferson Davis, declared their independence. The war officially began on April 12, 1861, with the first shots fired at Fort Sumter in South Carolina. By the mid-19th century, large plantations dominated the economy in the southeastern regions of the United States. Relying on agriculture, these plantations cultivated crops such as cotton, tobacco, and sugarcane, and the necessary workforce was provided by enslaved individuals brought from Africa. In contrast, the economy in other regions of the U.S. had shifted towards industrialization, leading to the abolition of slavery for free labor. While new states were being established in the western part of the country, many of them prohibited slavery. Concerns arose in the southern states that slavery would eventually be banned in the South as well. The southern states, fearing the threat to their production system based on slavery, declared their independence from the U.S. immediately after Abraham Lincoln, who had promised to end slavery, won the election. These states, led by Jefferson Davis, formed a new nation called the Confederate States of America. 4 more states, Virginia, Arkansas, North Carolina, and Tennessee, joined later, forming a total of 11 states that constituted the Confederate side in the American Civil War. The remaining part of the country, especially the Northeast, formed the Union or the North. In the early years of the American Civil War, neither side gained a clear advantage. Both suffered significant losses, and although both achieved occasional military successes, neither prevailed decisively. The Battle of Gettysburg in July 1863 marked a turning point, with the North gaining a significant advantage. Eventually, on April 9, 1865, Northern forces surrounded and forced the surrender of the Southern renowned Commander Robert E. Lee's armies. In the aftermath of the war, all slaves in the South were granted freedom, and shortly thereafter, they gained the right to vote. The economy based on slavery in the southern United States came to an end, despite the rights granted to black individuals in the South after the war. Many of these rights were soon revoked by Southern whites. Additionally, before the war, the wealth in the southern and northern parts of the U.S. was relatively equal, but after the war, the southern economy suffered and the North surged ahead. Abraham Lincoln, the northern president, was assassinated near the end of the war. In conclusion, the American Civil War marked the victory of the North and the reunification of the United States. While many rights were initially granted to black individuals in the South, after the war, these rights were later rolled back by Southern whites. The war also resulted in economic devastation in the South, while the North prospered.